Before we start this video, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for choosing to watch this video. It's not easy putting these videos together, so I do appreciate you being here and choosing to watch. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you like the video, share it with your friends, share it with your family, anyone who supports Tottenham. All right, let's go. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the channel, Tottenham Away Ole Ole. Hope you're good. Good morning, if that's what time zone you are operating on. Currently 10 a.m. here in sunny Cyprus. In the UK, it's 8 a.m., so definitely morning in Europe. If you're not in Europe, I guess it's either very, very early morning or afternoon or maybe even evening. Either way, thanks for being here. Welcome. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill by now. How's everyone doing? Did you watch the England versus France game? Or should I say the Soccerade game? Car crash. No one can defend. Everyone can score. It's actually quite an entertaining game if you're not really bothered about strategy and tactics and, you don't really care who won it. But just to watch a game with lots and lots of goals and lots chances, it was an entertaining game of football. 10 goals. England won it 6-4. Elise missed quite a few chances for France as well, but crazy game of football. Honestly, that's one of the thing is it was competitive, but it wasn't really a serious game of football. Like, no one cares who comes third. Third, fourth playoff is more of a moneymaker than anything significant. It's the game tonight. Argentina, Spain. The World Cup final, that's the game we want to see. That's the big one. But, yeah, it was still a good game to watch. We had a lot of fun in the WhatsApp chat talking about the England-France game. That's for sure. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat. I never know who's going to turn up on a Sunday morning because it's so early. Most people probably still in bed or doing morning stuff. My name is Jeff. Big up, Rod. Rodriguez from Sweden. How you doing, mate? I hope you're doing well. Rodney, big up. Spurs from Fiji. I'm sure I asked you this the last time, but just remind me, what time is it over there in Fiji? Dingo Yid, good morning to you as well. The Night Owl Flight. Damn, good morning still. How are you, mate? I'm good. Not too bad. Joey boy, midnight here. Midnight. Whereabouts are you based, Joey? Midnight. You must be America. That would be, but you must be in Asia, like Thailand, Malaysia, China, Japan, that way, right? Or even further, actually. And Kakuris, big up to you, man. The Sunday Jagdev. Oh, sorry, Sunny Jagdev, not the Sunday Jagdev. Big up, Sunny. Hope you're doing well. Aussie Coys. Who can guess where Aussie Coys is from? I'd never know. Big up to the Aussie. 5 p.m. here, perfect time. That is perfect time. That's a cracking time, actually. Does that mean the World Cup finals like 4 a.m. in the morning for you? Something crazy like that? James Watts, morning still, morning to you. Perspective, Arsenal getting violated even after winning the Premier League. Hello from Texas. Do you know what? We're going to talk about that Morgan Rogers deal this morning. I think that's a good shout. Texas. I do like Austin. I'm not going to lie to you. Stelios Triteos. Sam, why does your picture look like Saba? 7 p.m. in Fiji. Oh, yeah, you're just next to Australia. Makes sense. That's a great time. Evening. You can listen whilst having your dinner. USA, Washington. Hold on. America. Oh, yeah, because you're behind, of course. Of course you're behind because Asia's ahead. That's right. Oh, that's great for you then. The World Cup's going to be perfect time. Well, of course, the World Cup's in America. No. Nice surprise for Sunday morning to see you online, mate. My plan is to go every Sunday. It's just last Sunday I couldn't do it because I was in Lithuania for a friend's birthday. 7 p.m. in Fiji. Midnight, probably California. Morning, Stell from South Africa. Do you know that's one country I've never been to? It's one country I really want to go to. I really want to go to Cape Town, actually, and Cape Verde. Just thinking we should give Mikey Moore a chance instead of desperately looking for a left winger. Do you know, we can talk about that. We'll talk about it today. If we get Krupi and he plays behind the striker, what would happen to Xavi, Mads, etc.? And who, if you was in charge, what would you like to see happen now and what plays? Right, I'll save this and we'll come back to it. Apocalypse now. Good morning. Good morning. Mark Taylor, good morning to you as well. Aussie Coys, 4 a.m. final. That is brutal. That is, do you know what it is? It's not even having to wake up early. It's the fact you've got to stay up. Because you're not going to go to bed. You've got to stay up. And that pain of staying up when your eyes start, shutting. You can feel the pain at the back of your eyes. That's a killer. Every Premier League game ranging from midnight to 6 a.m. for us. So, Jesus Christ. Don't know how you do it. Especially Tottenham when we've been so crap for the last couple of years. In fact, how did you do that? How the hell did you watch Tottenham the last 2 years? Watching games from midnight to 6 a.m. This deserves an award. They should have given an award to every Australian Spurs fan and New Zealand and Fiji. Trump is going to hand the World Cup trophy to the winner and celebrate with them, just like he. Let me ask you a question, right? If Argentina win the World Cup, apparently the American government has given permission to Argentina to hold up the Falklands flag again, the one that's caused a bit of controversy, political controversy. If Argentina hold that up, is Trump going to stand there with them celebrating when they hold up a flag saying the Falklands is ours? Because I'll tell you what, that is going to cause an absolute shitstorm. But Argentina have to win it first, right? I'd love Krupi, as Maddie won't last till Christmas and Xavi's injured. Krupi would be immense. I struggle ridiculously. I don't know how you do it. Ghost LDM, big up still. Big up, Ghost. Adam in the house. Do you think all the inflated prices this summer is due to clubs helping each other out with PSR? Not really, because it all balances out, doesn't it? Because if you're paying more, that means you're selling for more. Look at Vuskovic and Bergvall. We could potentially sell those two for over £100 million. That's just stupid. So, yeah, on the selling side, but then you're paying more to buy. So I would say no, Adam, because it cancels each other out. Anyway, now we've got all the good mornings out of the way. Let's talk football, eh? Let's talk a little bit of football, Shan. A little bit of shocker. Do you know where I want to start? I want to start right here. Okay. I want to start right here. Jed Spence. I'm going in, guys. I'm going in. I am going in hot. I put a post out on the socials yesterday. In fact, I will show you exactly what I put out on social media so you can see. It's always good to show the receipts. We like receipts. Because I totally get that we want the manager to be in control and we want the manager to be able to choose what players he wants on his terms. And we've been saying for years, let the manager decide, back the manager. And backing the manager doesn't just mean giving him players that he wants. It's also allowing him to get rid of players that he doesn't want, right? It works both ways. But that doesn't mean we can't ask questions of the manager, right? The manager's not immune. The manager isn't God. I want De Zerbi. The day we got him, I said, this is a good appointment. I'm happy that De Zerbi is the manager of Tottenham. The manager I really wanted a few years ago was Glasner. If I could have chosen a manager to replace Frank, it would have been Iriola. But I'm very happy with De Zerbi. Okay, I really am. I like De Zerbi. I like his football. I like the way he speaks. I like the fact he's Mediterranean. He's got that fire. I like all that. I do like his football a lot. When De Zerbi ball clicks, it clicks. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything he does just because he's the manager, right? So I put this post out yesterday. If we sell Jed Spence, I think we're making a massive mistake. I get Robert De Zerbi needs to clear out the squad. But when you're keeping crap like Ben Davies, signing past his best and much slower Andy Robertson, plus Sousa, it doesn't make any sense. I don't care what Robert De Zerbi or any Spurs fan thinks. Spence needs a proper coach that can work with him week in, week out. He can become a very, very good player for us. Right? This is what I've put on social media. It's on there now. The receipts exist. And for me, guys, you know, I've coached for many, many years, right? Surely by now you've heard Stel was a coach. Stel, did you coach? Yeah, I did. I did coach. And I learned off of some good coaches too. And part of the job of the coach is to develop the player. Now, some players have got too many bad habits. Some players, just attitude-wise, it's not right. But you cannot tell me, guys, you cannot tell me, after watching Jed Spence play for England in some very big games against Argentina, against France yesterday, against Norway, he really shone. Was he perfect? No. Did he stand out as one of England's better players? Absolutely. And did he show the signs of a player that just needs that refinement, that quality bit of coaching to take him from here to here? Absolutely. I don't think every player can be coached into an excellent player. I don't believe that. I do believe when players are very young, I'm talking like kids now, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 years old, they can all be coached to be much better. All of them. There's no doubt in my mind. And I can explain the science behind it, the neurons, how information is absorbed. The chances of becoming a genius are 75% higher before the age of 10 because of the way information is absorbed. That's why they say kids absorb information like a sponge. There's a science behind it. It's to do with the wrapper around the neurons that travel from the brain to the body parts. That information pathway is at its best when they're young. As you get older, it begins to unravel, and that's why you begin to lose your memory and things like that. But anyway, the point being, any young player can be coached, very young. When you get to the age of 16, 18, 19, it becomes a lot harder. When you're in your early 20s, for me, it's about how much baggage you're carrying, how many bad habits you've picked up, but at the same time, how many good habits you've also got that can be evolved. And I look at Jed Spence, and for his age, and let's just clarify his age. Let's clarify his age. He's currently, he's 25 years old. So he's kind of in that middle ground of where he's not young, but he's not old. He's not 28, 29. I honestly think Jed Spence can be nurtured into a good player. I truly believe it. And it's not just because, he had a really good tournament for England. I just think the coaching at Tottenham for the last couple of years has been substandard. And I think the coaching at Tottenham has let down. Sorry, 1 second. This giant fly has just walked in my room. That's the thing. When you live in a hot country, the insects are like triple the size. Anyone from Australia, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyway, it's in my house now, too late. Hopefully it doesn't bite me. But Jed Spence is a player for me. Even when I watched him for Spurs, I always thought he's never given a consistent run. He switches from right to left. The tactics change. He's never had like a settled period in the team where he can just cement a place and then for the coach to develop him. I think the coaching at Tottenham for the last 2 years has been very substandard, guys. And, you know, last year when a lot of people were saying, oh, the players are shit, it's all the players' fault, the players are crap. Yeah, the players weren't great, but I also thought the coaching let us down. I was one of the content creators that said the coaching is poor, you know? But for me, the thought of keeping Ben Davies, and people say, oh, but he's not going to play. He's only here to have a coaching role. Then give him a coaching role. Give Ben Davies a coaching role. If he's here to become a coach, then make him a coach now. He doesn't need to be in the squad, stealing a position from a player. That fly's so big. It's so big. Jesus Christ. Guys, 1 second. I'm going to whack it. It's gone. It's freaking me out. Focus. And I just think, you know, if you're going to keep players like Ben Davies, who aren't even going to play, apparently, you keep him, you know, we've brought in players like Robertson, who isn't fast anymore. His stats are nowhere near as good as what they were 2 years ago. You've still got Sousa. I'm thinking, why would you not keep Jed Spence for now? At least give him a year to prove he can do something really good under De Zerbi. But if De Zerbi doesn't want him, he doesn't want him. But I think De Zerbi is making a big mistake. And we're allowed to question the manager, right? Even if I like the manager, I'm allowed to question him. I'm allowed to say, De Zerbi, why are you doing that? Doesn't make sense. What do you think of this? You know, what's your honest thoughts on Jed Spence? Would you keep him? Do you think, nah, sell him? He's not that good? Or are you one of these people, if the manager doesn't want him, then I don't want him. If the manager wants him, then I want him. Where are you at with it? Guys, 1 second. I can see it. I'm going to whack it. Got it. Have you ever seen a live YouTube stream where the flip-flop comes off and bang? I'll tell you something. This is crazy. So, what's your honest opinion? Because I just think we're making a big mistake. You know, do I think we can sign a really, really good wing back for 50, 60 million pounds that could be better? Yeah, I do. But we're not going to do that. So I look at us going into next season. I want the best players that we can have next season. And for me, Jed Spence, I'd have him over Robertson. I'd have him over Udogie. And I'd definitely have him over Ben Davies and Sousa. I just think we're making a mistake here. I just, you know, let me see what you guys think, because there's a lot of fans that disagree with me on this. I think there are quite a few that also agree. Night Owl Flight says, for me, I would play Jed instead of Destiny. I agree. Listen, I agree. That's the point I just made, right? I'd play him ahead of... Listen, I'd play him ahead of Robertson. I don't know if you guys have seen Robertson's stats the last 2 years. They've fallen off a cliff. He hasn't got the pace. You know, against Argentina in the semi-final, you know that amazing recovery run that Jed Spence made, and he made this brilliant tackle, like a really brilliant recovery tackle, and everyone was like, yeah, go on, Spence, what a tackle. You are not going to see Robertson do that next season. You are not going to see him do anything like that because he hasn't got the legs for it anymore. I'd sell Spence as his ceiling won't get any higher. Yeah, but is it about selling players for money? Do we care about money? Or is it about keeping players that are the best that we can possibly have right now so we can have the best season next year? This is So, Sonny, you've given me a business answer. Purely based on football, would you keep him though? Jed Spence, force was with him, says Anthony. Sonny comes back in and says, with not playing being second choice, not many fullback sell for 50 million, sell for 50, then we can call him 50 Spence. What a terrible gag. It's your birthday. 50 Spence. It's quite good. Yeah, agreed. Agreed to keep him. Davies and Robertson are taking positions other can fill. Listen, I agree, man. I really do agree. Porry's better going forward and Spence better defending. Did you see Spence going forward in the World Cup, though? And you know what? Spence was doing that when he was at Nottingham Forest. He has got that drive. He just needs to be coached for that final stage of the run and to link up with players that are of a better quality in that final third. But that's down to the coach and better recruitment. I'd try Vanderson and sell Spence. I played left back, band sweeper, and to be able to play both sides is very rare ability to that level. Is a must. We keep him. The Aussie Spur TV. Selling Spence and keeping Destiny would be a mistake, in my opinion. Keep Spence. How can he be replaced? Well, you'd have to spend big. You'd have to spend big on the finished product. You'd have to spend 50, 60 mil on a proper top quality left or right back. See, I quite like Robinson from Fulham, who is a bit injury prone, but he's a very good player. You'd have to go and drop 50, 60 bags to sign, Robinson from Fulham effectively. Do you think he can be good as good as Kyle Walker? I think Kyle Walker was more advanced at this stage of his career. At 25 years old, Kyle Walker was top stuff. So it's a big ask. It's a very big ask. Big up, Capone. Rob says, true, the club could have done better by Jed. I think not just Jed, there's quite a few players actually, in my opinion. But Jed certainly is a player that has been mismanaged completely. Let's not forget, under Ange Postecoglou, the only reason Jed even got to play is because we had an injury crisis, and Jed played against Coventry City in the Cup, where he was influential in the build-up play for the winning goal that we scored in the Carabao Cup, if you remember. What size are the wasps in Cyprus still? There's one on the floor somewhere that I just swatted. It's about that big. They're big. It's just, I think when you live in a hotter climate, insects are just much bigger. I think the sun grows them more. It gives them a different type of energy. I'm pretending that I understand biology now. I don't. They're just bigger. It can't be a football decision with Spence, maybe. Well, that's kind of linking back to what Sonny said. It's financial. But it's a shame that we're making decisions made on finance if it's going to end up weakening the team. If we sell Spence for 50 million, but we've got a target planned and we go and spend that money, then it makes sense. I totally get it. And that's something that none of us know. Ben Davies is good. Maybe at cleaning toilets. Maybe at serving burgers at McDonald's. Maybe at Uber driving. If you need a minicab driver, call Ben Davies. Maybe he's good at those things, Stel the Fly Slayer. Mate, the thing was big. It had to go. Could have charged the fucker rent, mate. Shall I go and give it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and demand some rent? Rodriguez says, keep Spence. I think so too. Kicks TV 23. Sell Spence. He won't play at left back and is shit at right back. 40 million. See, I don't understand. I don't understand it. But look, there's a lot of fans that think that. Yeah, swat that effing fly, Estelle. West Coast Spur. You got to keep him. Can cover left or right as a starter if needed. I totally agree. Listen, West Coast Spur, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on this one. I think he's been through so much adversity and he still has that drive and passion to improve. He needs to stay and for me, play on the left back role. I'd take him over Destiny. A lot of people have actually said that today. The Spence replacement would have to be homegrown. That's another problem. See, this is another problem. If you're going to sell a homegrown player, that means we're going to have to invest the money on British talent. Like, what British player do you bring in that plays in that position? Stel, are you going to have guests coming on? I've put the link out to everyone. If they want to come on, they can come on. I'll put a link in the chat now if anyone wants to come on. I don't mind. All right, guys, I'm going to put a link in the chat so that you can jump on if you choose. I'll pin it to the top as well. Jump on the show. All right, the link is pinned in the chat. If you want to jump on, feel free. Just don't be silly. Thank you very much. Please come again. All righty. Anton says, with Spence, decent coaching will improve him as he realizes too much on his own, as he relies too much on his own pace and power to get out of problems. Keith Spence can definitely be coached to take him to another level. Listen, Grant, I've coached for a very, very, very long time. And I can see a player that just needs a bit of coaching. I can see a player that's just gone past coaching. For example, Richarlison, he's gone past the level where you're going to coach him now to be of a decent level. And I can see where players have got bags of potential, bags of it. Spence just needs a coach, someone that's going to genuinely give him a chance and spend time with him weekly. Maybe De Zerbi doesn't want to do it. Sell a Dogie, but then that won't happen. Spence will want to start now. I think he should start, Kicks. I think he should start. Destiny injury history says Robertson isn't enough to cover. Big up Benji. The link's in the chat, mate, if you want to jump on. I've just pinned it to the top. I know it's 8 a.m. for you, but it's 10 a.m. for me, right? I'm 2 hours ahead. Don't forget. I'm worried that De Zerbi seems to favour Destiny from what I've seen. Guys, do you know something? I actually think Destiny can be coached as well to a good level. I do. I don't think he's too dissimilar to Spence. My issue with Destiny is he's always injured. Like he's made out of glass. And because of that, it's problematic. Oh, we have a young lady joining us.
Young lady? I wish.
Just take the compliment.
Fine. Can I just say, yeah, when I was a kid and I used to go to Cyprus, the ants were gigantic, and I never understood why they're so gigantic in Cyprus versus over here. Mad.
Everything, wasps, ants, spider, everything's big here. Like, and you know, it freaks me out.
Yeah, I never liked it. Me and my brother, we used to get freaked out seeing the massive ants. We'd be like, "What the hell, man? Crazy."
Do you know, about a month ago, I absolutely shat myself. I was in the kitchen and I heard this thing drop. I thought, what's that? I thought maybe a container dropped or just something fell. And I'm looking around. You're not going to believe what dropped off the top of the cabinet onto my sink.
What was it?
Snake.
Oh my God. I didn't realise there were snakes.
I shat myself. I absolutely, what I mean, I was like shaking like this, a panic attack. And I went and got a stick to whack it, and it quickly slithered out of the window. And I went outside to find it, and it was gone. It was a baby one. It was like a meter long, but I freaked out. Freaked out. A snake in your house.
Yeah, no, none of that, man. No chance.
Yeah. I thought that only happens in Australia, but apparently Cyprus gets snakes as well. But not. There's not many poisonous ones though.
Yeah, I've never seen snakes in Cyprus. All the times I was there when I was younger and that, I never see snakes.
No, there's snakes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. A new fear unlocked when I go to Cyprus next, isn't it?
Thing is, where I live, there's a lot of bushes and trees, and it attracts them. And also, you see this kind of cave thing. It's cooler.
Yeah,
they're looking
want to come in.
Yeah, they're looking for somewhere a bit cooler. But I weren't going to hit the snake with my flip flop. I'll tell you that.
Definitely not.
I weren't going to hit the flip flop. Mia, talk to me. Spence.
So, do you know what I would say about Spence? The one thing that I keep saying about him is that when there's other players fit, he gets dropped. Now, I wonder, there must be a reason for this, because it isn't just one manager who does it. So, although I feel like he's a decent player, I've not seen it enough in the Tottenham shirt, personally. And I understand what you're saying about being coached, but I just think that maybe there's a reason to why managers don't consistently play him. Because if he's good enough, he would surely stay in the team, and he ain't.
All right. I don't actually disagree with you. But has he been given a proper chance, Mia? Like, I believe a player needs 10 games in a row, just 10 straight games, so you can properly size it. Because if you have a bad game, you don't judge a player off that game. You judge them by what they do next. How do they respond? Kinski is a perfect example. Had that shocking game in Atletico. He comes back and look, right?
Yeah.
I think you've got to give a player 10 games so you can see all the ups and downs, how they do when things are going well, when things are going against us, when it's a really close game, when you're cruising, when you're getting battered. You want to see what they do in all of those moments. I don't think we've done that with Spence, not just Spence, but quite a few players.
I think he has. When we've had injuries, he's definitely had a good run of games. But then as soon as the injured player comes back, he gets dropped. And I feel like that speaks volumes, because I do think, because there was a period where he was really good. Like, he was actually, he was pretty consistently decent, but he still didn't consistently stay in the team when the injured players come back. So I just wonder if that just says something about him, maybe the way that managers perceive him.
Isn't it the job of the manager, though? Do you think Jed Spence can be improved with good coaching? Because I do. I think he can.
I think most players can. I think if they've got a brain in their head and they want to work hard to improve, yeah, I do believe that. But I just feel like no manager has wanted to do that with him. Why?
If it was down to you, obviously we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, right? We don't. But if it was down to you, would you keep Spence, Mia? Would you get rid of him?
I would. If he wants to go, I would sell him, because I think if he doesn't want to be here because he thinks he's too good to be someone who doesn't get playing time, let him go. Because I do think there is other players out there, though Neco Williams isn't available because it looks like he's going to sign another contract. There are other players out there that would be happy to sort of split the time and try and work their way into that position, where I think Jed Spence has got a bit of the attitude of he already thinks he's good enough.
If you could, all right now we've got Porro, Spence, Robertson, Udogie, and Sousa. All right.
Yep.
If you had to keep three, who would you keep, and who would be your top two?
My top two would probably be Porro and Oh no, it's really difficult because on that left hand side, I think Adogi has had moments where he's been really good, but he's been injured a lot, so it's really hard because I do like Adogi. So if he wasn't so injury prone, I'd say Adogi, and Robertson, because I think he has definitely. I know he's dropped off a bit. I know that. I get that, but I still think that he is still a good enough player.
So who's your three?
Robertson, Adogi, and Porro.
Really?
I think there's something about Spence that I just don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about him. I've just not seen enough of that good attitude to want to do better. I know it was difficult because we had a really crap manager in what we had with Frank. We didn't play well. None of them played well, right? None of them. But that wasn't just them. If you're not going to play to win a game of football, what do you expect them to do? A bit like what happened with England, right? But the fact is that in other periods, I just don't see Spence as that player. I feel like he's a bit of he gets that thing in his head where he thinks he's really good and he'd be good for a bit. And then for some reason, he just seems to drop off as well. Like he's not consistent. And I feel like he's old enough now where he should be a little bit more consistent with it.
I think that comes down to us not having good coaching and inconsistent systems, inconsistent teams, inconsistent team selections, injury crisis. There's been no stability at this club for about 2 to 3 years for anything to really shine. If I was to say to you, Mia, name me 3 players in the last 3 years that have shone.
I get that. It's probably a difficult pick. Van der Ven, probably. I would struggle. Yeah, I would struggle to say 3.
And this is my argument.
Being fair.
This is why when people say, "Oh, all our youth are shit, all our youth are shit," I said, "This is the worst environment to develop the youth. It's toxic. It's awful." You know, I personally think if we sell Spence, we're going to make a big mistake. I really think we're going to make a big mistake if we sell him. But
what about the fact that he wants to go though, because he thinks he should be getting playing time? Because the fact is that obviously a player wants to play football, and if he knows that he isn't going to be first choice, then maybe that also contributes to it.
If Spence wants to go, it's because he doesn't believe the manager likes him, or because he believes he's not going to get game time. I don't think Spence wants to go because he doesn't want to be at Tottenham. It's because he doesn't feel Tottenham wants him. That's my view.
Yeah,
and if that's the situation, if that's the situation, and that's what Tottenham feel, then yeah, he has to go. He has to.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And I feel like that maybe that is where we've got to at that point with Spence. I feel like that it's not because he doesn't want Tottenham. I feel like he wants playing time. And I think that that's not going to be offered to him. And maybe De Zerbi told him so. And now he's a bit like, well, that means I want to move on, which is absolutely fine if that happens, because obviously he wants to play football in it. So.
Yeah, football's a short career. If the kid needs to play and wants to play, then the move is there for him. But I've been saying for the last 2 years that right side should be Spence at right back, Porro at right wing. Porro can't defend but can attack, and then you could have those two overlapping for days because, Spence can do it. The overlaps, the underlaps, those two could create on the right-hand side if they got coached right, would just be fantastic to see, but it's never going to happen.
Wouldn't you rather buy a proper right winger?
Yeah, I mean, the right fit for a De Zerbi team has to be out there for him to be able to buy it. I mean, Varadison, people keep talking about him, but there are others out there, people, even though Varadison is a very talented right wing back. But if the situation arises where we can't get one in, and like I've been saying for over 2 years, play those two down the right. It's not a bad idea. If Porro can do everything that we've seen him in the World Cup do what he does, but we know he can't really defend as well as what he should be doing. As seen in the World Cup, he can kind of do it. But I've just been on that mindset that if we can get these two down the right, the overlaps and underlaps those two could create would give us a different dimension than just playing Spence at left back when he's right-footed.
Do you know what it is for me? Do you know what it's for me, guys? That I just can't get my head around. let's say Spence goes, right? He goes. I just can't get my head around. He goes, but Ben Davies stays. Sousa stays. And Robertson, who's 32, who can't make recovery runs and who isn't as good going forward like he used to be, he stays. I just think you've got a player in Robertson who's going to need to be replaced in a year or two. Sousa, who we know nothing about, who's really, really young, and Ben Davies, who shouldn't be at the club. They all stay, but Spence, who's 25, got the potential, got showing some good stuff for England, we're going to get rid of. I just that's what I can't get my head around. If Ben Davies wasn't here, we didn't sign Robertson, who's really, really old, who might still give us a good season. Sousa wasn't here, who is way off of it. And we had two other decent wing backs. I'd say, all right, I kind of get it. But when I see what's going to stay, that's the bit I can't get. That I can't get that around my head. It just stinks of all the problems of the past. Do you see where I'm coming from with that? It's like saying, it's like getting rid of Romero, but we keep Dragusin instead. Like, hold on a minute.
One's proven, one's been injured. So, yeah, I mean, I get you with Ben Dave shit. I mean, I can't stand the guy. Should have been sold. Yeah, he should have been sold 3-4 years ago when there was interest in him. Keeping him around while he's getting his coaching badges at 80, 90 grand a week, I'm sitting here like, hell. He's going in for his coaching badges and you know he's on his way out. Put him on a coaching role, not a player role. Give him the 3-4 grand a week, whatever coaches get for our team. I would chin that guy out the first team. But again, is he being kept around for the homegrown quota from the Welsh FA? Possibly, because it ticks a box, doesn't it? For now, keeps the can kicking down the road. I just don't get it with Ben Davies. And then you're sitting here, we're talking about Sousa, who had his breakout season in Brazil, was actually quite good. But he is miles off Premier League standard. You've got Robinson. I do rate Robinson, but his legs are going. But I still feel he can do a serviceable job for us for 2 seasons until we find someone else. As for the centre defenders, Romero, he's shown he wants to stay, but the club wants him gone. It's just weird, isn't it? You're getting rid of key players, and it just doesn't feel right. I mean, I'm sitting there. I like Spence. Maybe it's his attitude. We don't know because we can't sit there and say, is it his attitude? Is it because other managers see something in his attitude? Well, I guess all professional players should be on that like bandwagon of they're a bit arrogant because they made it as a professional, right?
I know, but I think I do think there's like a level of arrogance because he hasn't really proven anything in my eyes to actually be arrogant. My point would be, like I keep saying, Corey, is the fact that other managers, not many managers, have actually kept him when there's been an injury. The person who comes back, which is normally a Doge, he gets dropped. And I think that says a lot, maybe about how he's perceived by managers. And there must be something there. I think he's quite a nonchalant guy. I think he has that attitude where he's very, very laid back. And maybe that comes across as slightly arrogant. But if he doesn't work hard in training or there's something managers see, then they're not going to like him, right? Because that's obviously part of it too with managers, because they see stuff that we don't.
Well, of course, the coaches and the managers and the players on a daily basis see something there. But when I see Spence play, I just feel more comfortable with him there than a Dogie. To be honest with you, I just don't rate a Dogie. When we first got him, I thought, yes, what a quality young player we brought in here. The levels he showed when he was playing in Italy were phenomenal. But he come to us, he looked well off the pace for about 6 to 8 months, played well, and then just keeps getting injured. And I'm just sitting there like, if we're really changing, we need to get rid of these injury-prone players to actually start a new revolution at this club, and holding on to old skeletons, it's just getting a bit tedious now.
I'm not convinced Spence is going to go. By the way, I'm not convinced that Spence is going to go. I think as much as I want Romero to stay, even though no one else does, I think Romero will go. I've got a feeling Spence might stay.
Well, do you really think Romero is going to be welcome back after the crappy banner that you were standing there laughing and joking about with over the Falklands War? Do you really think English fans want to see that guy come back into the league after stuff like that? I mean, I know that's politically infused and that. I'm just sitting like, there's people out there. My uncle alone went out to the Falklands when all that kicked off in '82. You know, I wasn't even thought of, so I was still either an egg or a sperm. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here like my uncle lost his fucking leg in that war, and then you get these players all standing around the banner fucking gloating about it. I'm like, nah, get out the league, leave.
Listen, sorry to hear about your uncle, but fans are fickle. If we're losing the first game of the season and Romero steps up and scores the equaliser, then the winner, it's all forgotten. That's football fans for you, right? You know, if he does something really, really good, fans will be like, yeah, Romero. So I think he's gone anyway. I don't think Romero's going to be here next season. I think Smith might stay though.
Joe, I don't understand with Romero still is that a lot of people were saying about his attitude, the way he's the way he was and stuff. But when he does it for Tottenham, everyone loves it. When he did it to Maguire, we were all loving it when he was doing that to Maguire, absolutely mugging him off. So I do think that people have this thing against Romero. Whilst I think if he wants to go, and I think he does actually want to go, I think he should go. I want to keep him for other reasons because obviously I like to go to the stadium and look at his beautiful face. But the fact is that we can't just keep a player if he don't want to be here. But yeah, I do think people get a bit too over the top with Romero with the stuff that they say.
No, what's weird? I look at Romero and I look at myself when I was 16 to 20 while I was recovering from injury. I looked like that.
Talk about a bit of self.
I think I might have to probably get a very new pair of glasses if you truly believe that. But hey ho, here we go.
Hey, before the injury, I had a 6-pack. After the injury, I ended up with a flab pack and put on weight, so it's all right.
I believe you. I believe you. Why? My question is why has Alex come on looking like an old age Apollo Creed from Rocky?
Where's his glasses? I can't take him without his glasses on.
It's Apollo Creed.
I think it's like a Jedi spent a Jedi in honor of Jedi Jed Spence. I'll say. You know what I mean? I'm just doing that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody. On this strange Sunday morning. I won't go into it too much anyway. But yeah. Big up to Mia. As well, and big up to Corey as well. Big up to Corey as well. Sorry, it's early in the morning. And still,
don't worry, Alex.
But just getting straight into it. Like, I was wanting to chime in about the Jed Spence debate, because I'm in two minds on this one. I think at the moment, at this point in time, there's a reason why there are rumours that he's leaving, because I don't think he actually fits what De Zerbi wants. Because I think the type of fullback he is, I don't think he's an attacking fullback, if I'm really honest with you. I think what we saw in England is that Tuchel used him a certain way, and I think that's why you're seeing the best of Jed Spence. But when he plays for Tottenham, I don't think we play in the right way. I think it's the same with Poro, I've got to be honest. And listen, people have a guy about his arrogance. There's nothing wrong with arrogance. I have to be honest. There's nothing wrong with arrogance. I know a lot of people. I'm trying to say this in a very diplomatic way, but if you look at me, I know a lot of people, certain people that have got a lot of arrogance about themselves. You know what I mean? And they think they're all the bee's knees and stuff, and that's okay, because that's what people are like. There's either certain people that need confidence and just very nice, but they don't get anywhere in love and finding a relationship. But there's people who've got arrogance and can find, get a lot of people in love as well. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that have got a lot of arrogance. So there's nothing wrong with arrogance. 100%
Everybody's got arrogance. Every human has it in them.
It's got it all in them. And Jed Spencer's got arrogance. Sometimes he can bend it in a little bit, sometimes he doesn't. But I think for me, the problem is at the moment, I think he reminds me of the time when we had Holtby back in the day. And I liked Holtby. I thought he was a very good player, but because of his hard work and his determination and stuff. And I wanted to keep him. But Pochettino let him go because he didn't fit what they wanted. You get what I'm saying? I think that's the same with Jed Spence. Because I don't think he is what they want basically in a fullback. I think they want somebody who's more comfortable on the ball, somebody that is not just defensive. They've got to show a bit more attacking prowess, I think. And I think that's where the problem is with Jed Spence at the moment for me. I think they'll look at somebody that can fit the profile that that De Zerbi wants. I think, you know what I mean. That can play on the ball, because that's what you can see from the signings that we've made already. Most of them, majority of them, are comfortable on the ball. The only one that really is questionable at the moment is Dubravka, and obviously Ben Davies as well. But we're not going to go there. Still his favourite player, but I think that's where we're at the moment with our. And the thing is, also because of the squad. I mean, I don't want to put too many spoilers out because I'm going to do a video on this. But it's also the squad problem, which is not waking goal that certain people are talking about right now, because we've been talking about it for 6 years, to be honest with you. So when people talk about, you don't know about this, it's like Alistair Gold's been banging on about this for years. I was watching him and I told people on what We Are Tottenham TV, and we were, now they're doing it every single year now. So it's not, there are many factors why Jed Spence is looked at and thinking, well, if he's doing really well right now, if we get some money for him, we can use that money to use something else. And that's where it is, we're being a bit more ruthless. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what's going on with the whole Nico Williams thing, The Nico Williams thing has gone quiet. I mean, I would take him in a heartbeat, Nico Williams, but it's just what's going on with this transfer.
I don't think we're selling Jed Spence. I don't think we're selling him.
All right, then go get Nico Williams and keep Jed Spence, and then sell either Destiny Udogie and send Sousa out on loan. There you go, problem solved.
I don't think we're selling Udogie, Spence. I think Sousa might go on loan. I think next season both Solanke and Richarlison are going to be at Tottenham as well.
Do you honestly believe that?
Yeah.
Well, Solanke and Richarlison get it sold.
No, I think they're going to be at Tottenham next season.
Oh well, that's even okay. Right, after that. Look, okay. I don't want to go into. Are we going into that conversation now? Or we're not?
We'll go into it, but not. Let's do it from a different angle, because I wanted to touch on this and then it connects. So Night Owl Flight said, if we get Krupi and he plays behind the striker, what would happen to Xavi, Maddison, etc.? And who, if I was in charge, would you like to see happen now, and what place? So the last bit we'll touch at the end, but Krupi's not a number 9. So if he plays in the 10, I think we need to play with 2 10s. I said that last season, just play with 2 10s. But if he plays in the 10, then who's your number 9 next season? Because I personally think 90 million for this guy is bonkers. I like him. I think he's got loads of potential. He could really become a top player. But 90 million for a 19-year-old when he's not even a striker, I don't know. I think it's crazy. And if we do sign him, I don't think we're signing a striker. I think Solanke or Richarlison will play in front of him.
Well, do you know what? He reminds me of a young Thierry Henry drifting in off that left and banging goals in, because Henry started out left wing, didn't he, before he became more central. True. So that's what Krupi reminds me of. The kid's got bags of potential, but it's the going rate now in this market. It's absolutely crazy. Could you think just back to 25, 30 years ago, Alan Shearer was like 20 million or whatever it was. And that was a going rate for a top striker back in the day. Just
this guy's
inflation
19.
And
he's 19. Well, 20. He's 20 now, to be fair.
He's 20. Well, I mean, the potential side of it alone. I mean, he shows up Richarlison and one good season, Dom, and anybody else that's in that position. But he does play off the defender, off the striker, and he does come in a lot off the left. But he's good with both feet. He's rapid. So why not take that 90 million chance? Otherwise, we could be sitting here in 2-3 years' time.
90 million.
A 90 million from a player that's been proven in the Premier League for 1 year that he's had one good season. Are we off on noggin or what, man?
He scored 20 plus goals in France in his first season at 17.
Yeah, but we don't rate other players when we say, oh, they scored this in this league. We're rating them on the Premier League. He's had one decent season in the Premier League. He's 20. It's such a massive risk for that amount of money, man. That's crazy.
He's gone to prove that he knows where the net is, even at a young age. In his first season in France, he still knew where the net was.
But it doesn't mean that in the Premier, because he had one good Premier League season, he's worth that amount of money, man. Come on. He's had one good Premier League season.
60 million for one good season, Dom. in 10 years has been
Exactly.
professional.
And look how that worked out.
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
but
my
Creepy
point.
shows him up. Creepy
But
shows him up with his talent.
Corey, what you just said there kind of backs up the argument. One good season, 60 million Solanke, it's been a disaster.
But he hasn't had one good season, though. The season he had when he broke out in France, 20 goals and 2 assists, 22 GA at 17 going on 18.
We're going by the Premier League, though, because we've seen it in the past where players, they're really, really good abroad. Look, Brian Gill was brilliant at Spain. Came to Tottenham, shit. Absolute crap.
Oh, yeah, but the Spanish league to the Premier League is completely different. They're more technical over there, whereas France, it's very similar, but not at the same time to the English league, I'd say, with the way some of the strikers work.
The French league, right, Nicolas Pepe, done really well in France, went to Arsenal. What happened?
Okay.
Floppity flop flop.
Pepe. Shit.
I'm not dismissing. Listen, I'm not dismissing what players do abroad. I'm not dismissing it, but I think what they do in the Premier League is what we should gauge it more by. Only because we know they know what it means to go away to Crystal Palace on a Wednesday night. They know what it means to play in a London derby or a South Coast derby. They know what those games mean. They know what it's like to go to Anfield. Whereas, I'm not knocking Krupi. I think he's a really good player. I really like him. But
The price tag.
Million,
Here's the price tag, yeah. But we could be sitting here in 2-3 years' time and Madrid or Barcelona have picked him up for 90 to 100 million and he comes out to be the next Henry.
If he's that good, if he's 90 million now, he's not going to be worth 90 million then, is he? He's going to be worth more than that. So,
oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. 2-3 years down the line, he carries on doing this and then he ends up at Madrid, Barcelona, Juve. You know, I'm just counting out words there. He ends up at Bayern Munich taking over Harry Kane's position.
And what if he's rubbish and he don't end up with that? The problem is that we don't know the future, right? We can't guarantee he's going to come in and be good. That pressure now is going to, at Tottenham, the pressure's a different pressure as well. We don't know that he can handle that, especially when he's got that price tag on his shoulders. I don't go by price because that's not his fault. But the fact is there's going to be immense pressure because of that. And he's 20 and he has to handle that. Can he handle it? We don't know. And that's a risk. And that's not a risk I want to take with someone who's going to help us win games of football, personally.
Guys, let's say we do sign Krupi, where we spend 60 million or 100 million. He's not a number 9. Do you think we're going to go and drop £100 million on a striker? I don't. I think if we spend 90 million on him, having spent all the money we spent, and we still need to drop another 60, 70 million on the left winger, I think Solanke and Richie are going to be here next season.
Oh, yeah. We'll hold on to them or retain their services for a year and then sell them off. I mean, what's it? I think the one reason why Richie doesn't want to leave the UK is because he can claim for citizenship in the next year or two, can't he? So that's the reason why he wants to stay in the English league, which I don't blame him for if he wants to claim residency through playing in the country for so many years.
That's nice for him, right?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we could sell him off to an English club. Yeah, I know, but we could sell him off to an English club instead of abroad. But then most people in the Premier League aren't looking at Richie going, yeah, we'll take him. It is a teams that are abroad, like back in Brazil as well. But I'm sick of the teeth of Richarlison and Solanke, to be honest with you.
I just don't see, and this won't be an excuse for De Zerbi not getting up the top seven for me, because I think he's still had a good transfer window, even if we don't get the striker, right? But we're going to get the left winger in Savinho, it looks like, right? So for me, it doesn't give an excuse for De Zerbi not to get into top 7. But I do think if we get this Krupi in and we have Solanke and Richarlison, I don't see it working. One, because is Solanke ever going to be fit? Let's be honest here. Is he going to be fit? Richarlison just cannot hold up the ball. He cannot hold up the ball. All right? So, like, what is the point? You know, either he's going to be creating chaos, and to me, De Zerbi doesn't want chaos. He wants a bit more fluent. I can't think of the word. You know, aggressive. You know, patterns of play. And Richarlison, you don't associate that with Richarlison. So for me, like, if we were really, really serious, we would be doing a fire sale for him and just send him to the highest bidder, or try and do something with that contract of his, because he doesn't fit what De Zerbi wants. Right? If we're going to say that we don't like Sarr because he's an athlete, if we're saying that certain players like Basuma are not right for us at the moment.
Basuma's already gone there.
Basuma's already, I know Basuma's already gone. Who else is there? There's Dragerson, who's a good defender. If he's not what we want, Richarlison shouldn't be here, as far as I'm concerned. All right?
No, Ranger, Richie and Slanky aren't good enough.
Even if the fact that he scores goals, but it's going to be chaos if he scores goals, and he only scores like the odd one the goal.
I've got to say this, Ranger, you're saying that Xavi and Madders are shit, but you're saying that you'd want to keep Richarlison and Solanke. Are we in a parallel universe? I know he's trolling. Are we in a parallel universe?
He's trolling because it's not true anyway. But if it's his opinion, it's fine. It's cool. He'll be apparent to his opinions if it doesn't work out. But my point is though, Richarlison for me, if you keep especially Richarlison, that's why I say why people are having a go at me about Danny Welbeck. I'm being honest with you right now. Danny Welbeck would be a better than bloody these two. I'm being honest with you.
I've always been honest with you. Danny Welbeck he's also a nice lad when you see him about down this end, man. When you bump into him, he's always with a smile on his face. Hello to the fans. I've come across him. He said hello to me. And do I support Brighton? When I have a soft spot, but I'm a Spurs supporter, and he just went walked off. But yeah, he banters fans, but he's a nice bloke, Welbeck. So yeah, I'd have him down here at Tottenham.
No, it's not. Listen. There's a bit of options, obviously, but I'm just saying at the moment, I want somebody that can hold up the ball, at least hold up the ball. And then I have to look at my wingers, my wide men to score goals, maybe. You know what I mean? Or my midfielders, maybe. So that's where I'm looking at the moment. I'm even looking at Maddison at the moment, and I'm questioning him at the moment. But back onto the strikers at the moment, like I said, if we still keep them and we've got what we've got, I still expect us to at least try and get into that top 7. Because for me, I know that we've had recent news on Chelsea, what they've done in terms of who they bought, and Aston Villa made a few signings as well. But when you look at the face of it all, we still have made some very, very good signings that really should expect a good position in the league. There's no excuses for not getting into that top 10 at least. So, that's his choice if he wants to keep him. That's his choice, and he's gonna have to do the best of it, really. But I don't think it's gonna work out because I've seen. I know what I'm gonna get from Richie. So there's no point of me saying any more on it. So when he scores goals and people say I need to give him credit, there's no point because I know what I'm gonna get from Richie. I've seen it how many years now. You know what I mean? It's like rinse and repeat. What's the point?
Scooby, you do need to be able to hold the ball up even if you are playing out from the back, because sometimes you need that outlet for a stronger player to hold the ball.
But you see all this hold up the ball, makes good runs, good in the air. When you hear all these things, for me, I just feel like I'm listening to bullshit. I genuinely feel I'm listening to shit. The striker's main job is to score goals, right?
Yeah, put it in the onion bag.
When you don't even need to be a coach, man. Every position has got 3 key attributes. No matter what player you are, you've got 3 key attributes, whether you're a centre-back, a left-back, and the attributes depend on your position. Every striker's number 1 priority attribute is, can you put the ball in the back of the net? If the answer is no, you shouldn't be at Tottenham or any football club, really. Richie does not score anywhere near enough goals. His best ever season, and this guy's been playing for 10 years. He's been in the Premier League most of his career. The most goals he's scored was 13 in the Premier League.
That was for Everton as well.
So people in the chat defending Richie, I don't know what planet you're on. We're a club that's known for Defoe, Keane, Berbatov, Klinsmann, Sheringham, Lineker, Kane,
Keane.
All of them scored more goals. What are we doing? What is it?
Can I come back on this?
He can link up the play. He helps it. Do you score goals? If the answer is no, you cannot be the striker.
Okay.
You know what gets me with this hold up the ball situation is when the system was 4-4-2 when you had big man, small man like Heskey and Owen. You know, Heskey would hold up the ball, be your bruiser, wait for Owen to make the run, wouldn't it? That's back then. This is now football was more dynamic, played at a bit of a quicker pace than what it was 30 years ago.
Can I come back on that? What you just said, still, right? I'm not defending Richie because you know my feelings on Richie. I don't want him here, right? I've just said literally just now. I don't. If he's keeping him, that's your choice, De Zerbi. That's on you, right? And Solanke, like, he's only had one good season. You know, he's always injured. He says he doesn't score enough goals because he's only had one good season, and also he does hold up the ball from what I'm told. And gets people into play. That's the only reason why I'll keep him. The only thing I would say at the moment to that counter your argument at the moment, yes, we would love to have somebody like a Defoe, the Berbatov, and all these players. But where they're out there at the moment, still, where are they at the moment? You get what I'm saying? That main striker that can do that. You know what I mean? I know that there's the Sunderland player, right? But he plays to a system that they play. You get what I'm saying? So my context of what I'm saying at the moment, I was thinking about the goals coming from the wings. That's what I was saying, right? And then you have the striker like a Firmino hold up the ball and getting players into play, and then scoring the goals. That's the wingers trying to score the goals. That's what I was saying, because out there it's very hard to find a striker right now. Yes, you could look at Goretzka in Dortmund. I mean, they're few and far between in the Premier League, and if they're scoring goals, a lot of goals, that you've got to spend a lot of money on it. Osman would be an option for me if you're looking at that guy. But people say that
I'd go for Guirassy.
But he's got an ego. He wants more money. But then, if you want to get that sort of player that scores goals, that knows he can score goals, you're going to have to take that risk. You get what I'm saying?
Would any of you take Mamouche?
Yes.
Yeah. Listen.
That's my one. I would take out of anybody.
People.
100%.
Man City don't sign duds. They don't. It's just the fact that players in front of these other players are, above them. So if people locking Savio, you got to think you've got back.
Yeah, but people have had a go at me. Sorry, Corey. People have had a go at me on my video. Again, I'm giving a spoiler out again, so please watch the video. Right, that I called him bang average, Mamouche. Right, and the reason why I said he's bang average because he's bang average season last season. Right, I'm not saying he's not the best. I'm not saying he's the worst. I'm just saying he's bang average. If I'm looking at the context of Savinho, I think he's the worst signing because of his work at Man City, what he's done recently. So. But again, he needs to change my mind and come to the club and show me. You get what I'm saying? So, I know that it's very, different at Man City and then coming to Tottenham. But the thing is, though, I'm not going to be an idiot and think he's not going to come in and try and improve some of our players. Right? He's going to be better than what we've got. And I think they can be better than what we've got. But they have to do what Salah did when he was at Chelsea, when he had that bad season at Chelsea, went to Italy, right? And then came to the Premier League to Liverpool and then shown himself and got better and better and better and better and better. That's the thing at the moment. These players they really have to, if you're going to take a risk with them, you've got to give them what they make them tick and make sure that they can get the best out of these players. You get what I'm saying? Because what we do, we can't have another Tell or Alderweireld situation. We cannot. You know what I mean?
No, you're not wrong, Alex. You're not wrong, which is why I have been one of the people on YouTube that have been saying this is very risky what we're doing with a lot of these signings. I have mentioned that because there has to be output. If there's no output, then this is all really pointless. And by the way, Scooby Snacks, you're on a mad one. Saying that Richie didn't score a lot is because we don't create chances. He's been in the Premier League for 10 years and never scored more than 13 in a season. Are you saying Everton, Watford, Tottenham, even when Conte was here, We never, all of these teams never created enough chances for 10 years. You're on a mad one. After 10 years, you can see more than enough to know what a player's about. Richie is technically incompetent. His brain isn't that of an elite player. He spends more time on the ground than on his feet. Does he get the odd goal here and there? Yes. Is he good at the shithousery? Yeah. But even for Brazil, mate, he's bang average. He's an average striker. That's what he is. He's an average striker. There's a reason why no big club goes in for this guy. We're the only one that went in. We're the only club that went in for him. And that was during a period where all our transfers were shocking. All of
that was absolute desperation as well, because we couldn't find a striker for love nor money after we sold Kane.
I think if you look at the actual amount of chances Richie gets to conversion is a very low rate. Like, I think he needs a lot of chances to score.
It's like 1 in 5, 6 mile.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not.
1 in
it's not
6. 1 in 6.
Yeah, but I think when you put numbers in front of it, it looks worse, isn't it? You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. But you can see it. You can see how crappy he is.
Alex, just look at him at every club he's played for. Just look, every single club he's been at, he's never scored more than 13. He's only got into double digits like 3 times. Most of the time, he ends up with 8 or 9 goals in there. He's not good.
No, he's not good. No, he's not good. Well, why do you think I call him below average Emil Heskey for a reason? You get what I'm saying? So like,
don't knock Emil. He was great.
Below average Emil Heskey. Like, that's why, that's not even a compliment. So like for me, like you don't need to tell me. I've had enough.
Comparing him to Haaland. What are we doing?
I'm not even gonna.
Erling Haaland, 20. What's he? 23 now or something like that. Over 400 goals at 23.
This conversation's been happening for how many years now? So that's why I'm not even getting angry about it anymore. There's no unleashing on this anymore. There's no point. Like I'm just like to a point where I'm just like, you know what I mean? We're having the same conversation about Richie, and now people are making excuses that he's good, and I'm saying, well, cool, that's cool, but again, if your manager De Zerbi keeps him, and we don't get top 7 or top 6 with the signs we've got at the moment, that's on the manager. Sorry, I'm not even being funny anymore. We'll get
into
you get the club you deserve.
We'll get into the expectations and De Zerbi, but just to like wrap up with this striker thing, right? For me, it's simple. If Spurs fans want Tottenham to be a top club, then just think of the times when we were top. Like we were knocking on the door. These were the strikers we had, right?
What a player that bloke was.
Look at the quality you're looking at, right? Look at these players we had up front. Do not tell me this guy, and this guy are even close to this.
They couldn't even lace their fucking boots.
Right? This conversation has to end. We cannot have people pretending, oh, but Richie this, oh, but Slanky that. They're nothing like the Foking Berbatov.
Oh, tell this, oh, tell that.
They're not even close to those levels. And yet every YouTube show you go on, these arguments happen. We're doing it now, but why is this debate even happening?
No, because they're deluded.
All you need to do is use these little fucking orbs in your head called eyes to realise that those 3 players don't even scratch or touch the boots of these players. They don't even touch the boots of Jimmy Greaves, for fuck's sake. And he played in an era where football pitches were mud fields.
Do you know how you know they're not good? Do you know how you know they're not good? None of them have got a song. Harry Kane had a song. Son had a song. Berbatov had a song. Keane Hope. There's no songs for these strikers we've got.
So, what did I talk to you about the apple pie? About the apple pie. How they take a quarter of an apple pie and they just love it. That's exactly what I'm talking about with these players, these fans, right? I was listening to one Tottenham fan. They say, why are Spurs fans moaning for? I was like, oh, here we go again. You just need to ask him, what era of football did you watch? Then see them fall back on themselves. And I'm just like sitting there saying, you can't criticize. You know what I mean? So for me, like, if you're arguing this whole thing about the striker that we got now to what we had before, you get the club you deserve. Like, you get the club you deserve, right? I'm sorry.
Strikers in the pub league.
You might as well just got relegated. and we didn't get relegated, and now we're getting this advantage, this massive advantage right now over a lot of teams, right? With these rules about the squad ratio stuff and everything else, with everything to do with that now. And if you're happy with Richie, Tell, and Solanke as your strikers, you get the club you deserve.
Joe, that saying is something, Alex, that I'm really opposed to. There's a reason, because the fact is, whether I like a player or not, it don't make any difference to whether they keep the player or not. So the club I deserve isn't about what I deserve. I think every fan has different opinions. And while I agree with you about the whole Richie thing, I don't think you can say that people get a club they deserve, because I think like it's not really that. It's our opinions. Our opinions doesn't affect what happens with Tottenham. So I could rate Tell, and it doesn't make any difference whether we sell Tell. If we sell him, I'm cool about it. Even if I like Romero as a player, I think that he gets a little bad rap. But if he wants to go, let him go. But that's none of my business, isn't it? Like, I don't get to make that choice. So do I get the club I deserve because I want him to stay, Romero? No, I think that's just it's so subjective. So I don't believe in that saying of you get the club you deserve, because it's a subjective thing that we can't have the outcome to. We can't control the outcome.
I agree with you to a point where you can't control the outcome. But the thing is, though, then and I'm not saying that you do this, but certain people will say, why don't you give them credit when they score goals or do this and do that? I made my position clear.
I can't give someone credit when they've been shit for God knows how many years.
I've made my position clear.
There's a reason why Solanke was binned off by 2 Premier League clubs before we got him. There was a reason, because he's shocking. Richie, shocking. I mean, like I said, these 3 players that Stell put up, they couldn't even lace the boots of Kane, let alone touch Sonny's hair.
I don't like this conversation where people say, but what have they won? What have they won? Individuals don't win trophies.
Clubs
Teams win trophies, which is why on the trophy it doesn't say Kane, it doesn't say Solanke, it says Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool, the name of the club.
Yeah.
Right. So by this stupid argument, but what did they win? Phil Jones is a bang average defender, but he's won everything just because he was in the squad at Man United. Wes Brown has won everything just because he was in the squad at Man United. So it's such a weak analysis. This is petty arguments now just to justify why players are good.
Well, just look back when we won the Cabarro Cup. Apart from Woodgate, who scored the goal, Corey, who else in that team was great?
Corey, we all know here, if Pochettino was properly backed, we would have won the lot. We would have won the lot. We just never had the squad. We had a good starting 10, 11 players. But then as soon as we had to turn to the bench, everything fell apart.
Yeah.
On came Harry Winks. On came Eric Dyer. On came NG, Nkudu, and Poo. On came Vincent Janssen, all this shit.
But you can't knock Janssen, because in Spain he played in a completely different system than told to play in a single by himself when he was used to play double.
At Tottenham, he was never going to come.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
You saw the drop off, man. You saw it. Even when the wing backs went off, the players that came on, they weren't at the level. So for me, Berbatov goes to Man United and wins everything. Why? Because Man United had a better squad.
Carrick won the season before, didn't he?
Trippier was not a bad player, though, still. Trippier wasn't a bad player, though.
Man, I'm not knocking Trippier. But
I'll say Ben Davies was to a point. But there was his ceiling, and I think that's why we didn't do it well.
When Poch was manager, though, right? The point I'm trying to make is that Tottenham Hotspur, when we had all these top strikers, we never had a top squad. And it was hard to beat the Arsenals, the Liverpools, and the Chelseas, who were just pumping shitloads of money into their teams and just really difficult to beat. So to say, but what did they win at Tottenham? Mate, it's such a poor argument. You can't judge a player by what Tottenham do. Judge them by what they do as individuals. Harry Kane broke every freaking record in the books. Berbatov was so freaking good. Man United dropped 30 million back then, which was a record, to get him to go Man United, which is the best team in the land.
There's also a video with Berbatov on YouTube where they're doing a training video, these guys, and they're shooting the ball at him at different speeds. Berbatov, I kid you not, 103 miles per hour, one touch control on the floor. 103 miles per hour.
What did Gareth Bale win at Tottenham? He must be shit. What did Gareth Bale win at Tottenham? What Luka Modric? What did he win at Tottenham? Another shit.
Aaron Lennon.
Rubbish.
Aaron Lennon. Yeah, there you go.
Rubbish. All these players are rubbish. What did Michael Carrick win at Tottenham? Rubbish. All rubbish. What? You know what? This is what people do who are weak in analysis. Just basic level debate. It crumbles, man. And people beat Tottenham. I remember we got beaten hard. What did you lot win? What did you lot win? I was pulling my hair out because I'm thinking, fucking hell, we've gone 2 years without signing a player just when we were becoming really good. You know, and it kills me, man. It kills me. But anyway.
It was almost 3 years, wasn't it, where we didn't sign a player? It stretched to like 2.5 years. And that was just like, what? I'm sitting there as a fan, like all these other teams getting stronger. And there's us still sitting here with the 11 that, you know, kind of got there, nearly got there.
On that note, I'm going to leave because I've got stuff to do. So
You got me on.
I will speak to you all later. Take good care of yourselves, guys.
Big up,
Thanks,
Mia.
good, Mia.
All right, bye. And you, bye.
Bye. Big up to me, everyone. You can check her out doing the rounds on all the YouTube channels on a weekly basis. So, where are we at then with the striker situation? I honestly think Lanky and Richie are staying next season, guys. I do.
I will get rid of both of them. I would have got rid of Tell.
Well, that's
I would
the
have got
dream.
rid of Tell. I would have got rid of all the Bear. I would have got rid of. I even would have got rid of Maddison. To be honest with you, because I think Maddison's not. He doesn't play enough games for me. 70 games he's missed over the course of his time at Tottenham. So I think
he's
for me,
prone as well. Like I said, like the way to move this ball forward now is get rid of all these players that are constantly doing the Darren Anderton, man.
So I would have got rid of all of them
because sick note, boss.
Because I think yeah, he's obviously he's a very good creative player, and I do like him as a creative player, but I think the injuries have done him no good at all, and also because he's hardly played, like there's certain times he hasn't really played very well either. You know what I mean? Maybe because we don't really play in the best, the way he wants to play. You get what I'm saying? Like we had with Javi Simmons. But I just think for me, again, it's just because of based on his record of being fit, it's been awful. You get what I'm saying? So this is why I feel that certain I would have got rid of all the forwards and looked at certain forwards. And I know we're looking at goals and stuff, and I think that's where we have to look at the specific profile and where the makeup of the team, how we're going to play and stuff, and that really is determined by what De Zerbi wants to do. So,
we already know what De Zerbi wants to do. He wants ball playing players that can control the ball, pass the ball off quickly, but a vision of passing. Senesi and JP have that vision of pass, don't they? They can find a pass. Whereas I think those two will be our starting centre-backs. And then I really do think Van der Ven will do what he does at Holland, sit out in that left-back position with Robinson coming in as a backup. I would love to see the back of Destiny Adoji because, again, he's always injured. I would then go, right, Susie, you're going out on loan. There you go. You've cleared the ranks. You've got one kid out on loan. You've sold Destiny, who's always injured. And it's just one of them things, isn't it?
What are your thoughts on next season in terms of expectation? Because we had this chat on Friday. Or was it Saturday? One of the days, I can't remember. Where my opinion is if we sign Krupi and we sign a left winger with the players we've currently signed, assuming we don't have a major injury crisis, just normal season injuries, 2 or 3, whatever. I fully expect 1 game a week, Spurs must get top 6. And if they don't, I think De Zerbi has failed. With the players we've signed, the money we've spent, with Krupi, with a left winger, 1 game a week, because if Ange can get 5th 1 game a week, if Carrick can get 3rd 1 game a week, and he came mid-season, De Zerbi's already had 7 games with the players. He's going to have a bit of a pre-season. He's starting from the start of the season. If we don't get top 6, I think De Zerbi has massively failed. That's my take on it. What about you guys? And in the chat, what is your expectation? Or what demands, what accountability needs to be put on the manager and the squad he's going to have.
Seventh for me.
Why have you gone seventh and not sixth? What's happened there?
I think you have to give him grace. Grace if we don't get the strikers in, but at the same time, with the squad that we've got in terms of Tonali, Fernandes, and the defenders, he's got the bulk of a good basis to really get the play to play that he wants, the way he wants to play still. I know the strikers will be a problem though. The forward line will be a problem. But with one game a week, with teams playing in Europe mostly as well, with teams like Aston Villa getting ripped apart, I know they're buying players in, but you know, I don't think that some of the players they're getting in are better than what the ones that they're letting go of.
Well, that Swiss kid, he's really good that they brought in. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, but he hasn't got any experience in the Premier League though. And I think,
this myth of playing in the Premier League.
I'm not saying
if you are a
Corey,
professional and good enough, you should be playing.
But
at
Corey,
top level.
I'm not saying that. But when you're coming in for all that money as well, right? You're their main signing, and everyone's raving about you. There's going to be a huge expectation. So we have to see whether you can manage those expectations still at Aston Villa. Right, they're in the Champions League as well, and managing Champions League, all the other competitions as well, and the league. You know what I mean? And they've lost players. You know, Tielemans was their main player last season as well. So they're going to have to find a different way of maybe playing. Emery's going to have to find a different way of playing them as well. So, and Newcastle getting ripped apart. Liverpool are having a transition, regardless what you think. Chelsea are in transition as well. We don't know where that's going to go, but you know they've made a major signing to yesterday. Then you've got Man United in Europe again, Man City are in transition again, and like I said, the only team that is not in transition at the moment in top six is Arsenal, but they're champions, so they're in a different space right now. So there is a huge opportunity with Bournemouth, Brighton in Europe as well. You know, there's a huge opportunity, for Tottenham to do something.
I wouldn't discount Brighton. They always seem to find good players, and they always have a squad that balances out well to get them through the season.
But they're in Europe this season.
Yeah, but whether they're in Europe or not, they're still a very good squad. Whereas you're taking like Newcastle, they're being ripped apart. I can see them in the relegation spots next season because of what's going on with them.
Who's your top six? Right. Let's just say for argument's sake, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal are all in the top three. Right. Let's put Man United there as well. Man United, Liverpool. Let's just say who's coming fifth and sixth. You've got Chelsea, you've got Brighton, you've got Bournemouth without Areola, you've got Aston Villa, you've got Tottenham. Maybe who's fifth and sixth?
Probably maybe Aston Villa, and I could see Tottenham maybe in sixth, possibly. Depends on what. But that's a close one, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Because Chelsea don't have Europe either, do they?
No. What's it? 19 European competitions this year, isn't it? So,
no, they're not in Europe. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
It'll be a close one. I think it'll be a close one between Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Tottenham. I think. Listen, it's not that I'm trying to be overly positive here. It's just that I just think, with the season we have, summer we're having so far, and the summer that we could have even more further with the money that we can spend and stuff, we're not going to get as good as what we're getting at the moment that we've had for how many seasons now. Let's be honest here, So if we're not taking advantage of this, I just don't see any where we're going to get any more good advantage in any other summer. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, with the coaching side of it as well, it doesn't just come down on De Zerbi. There's also Bruno, that was a Brighton legend, who's a very good coach. I mean, he's an outstanding coach. That's why De Zerbi's got him there. I mean, when you're coaching once a week, like Stell would know, top coaches get the best out of better players. The more that we have better coaches, we get get a reaction from players, and it's how they apply that training weekly. You're going to have what 5-6 days of training, a match, or 4 days of training, a rest day, then match, and however they want to balance it out. So they have to get this right now. They've got this season to really implement this well and finish as high up that table as possible. Like for me, I don't want to be anywhere below 10th. I want some sort of European football next season. If it's Conference League, Europa, or Champions League, I want some sort of form of European football just so that we can say that we've turned a corner. But unless we sort out that front 4 or 5 positions, like by getting rid of, I want Richie and Dom gone. I want a new striker coming in. I want 2 new left wingers and a new right winger. To be honest with you, I want to be able to go, right, if Kudos is not doing it, I don't want to rely on Tell. I want someone else that's a different profile to Kudos to come on and take over from Tell, so we can get rid of Tell and then come in behind Kudos. That left wing is a huge problem for us and has been since what? We can sit here and honestly say since Bale left, and that's been 10 years. So we've been struggling with that. We're still looking to replace Kyle Walker, for God's sake, that we've been looking at for years. So we're just kicking the ball down the road. I mean, the midfield is sorted out now. The defense is sorted out. We just need those proper wingers.
I think for me at the moment, I think everyone's right in what they're saying. It's just that at the moment, I think with what's the circumstances we're in at the moment, and I'm not going ahead of myself on this one. I just think I don't think anybody expected the signings that we're doing at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So I think a form of European football would be Europa League for me. So that would be the 6th, 7th, maybe, or 5th position, I say. But I think it's going to be a very tight sort of league.
5th gets you Champions League, doesn't it, nowadays?
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
On coefficient and
coefficient, isn't it? So
the club won the Conference League, the Europa Cup, and got to the Champions League final. I think our coefficient's gone through the roof.
Our coefficient is first at the moment, but like it can all change in a season. If 2 Spanish, if all the Spanish teams all do a clean sweep of everything. This is why I said last season I don't mind Arsenal winning the Champions League for the coefficient, so that we can always guarantee that 5 places for Europe in our league.
You've lost me, mate.
No. But the coefficient for our league, getting first to 5th, gets English teams into
coefficient.
Champions
I do
League.
not want Arsenal winning the Champions League. The coefficient can go to hell.
But then you think, like, I think as a league,
I'm telling you straight.
I don't think with my fucking Tottenham hat on. I think with my Premier League hat on now, 5 teams can get in guaranteed if another English team puts that coefficient back up.
Mate, I never want to see it. I don't care if Spurs get £50 million if they win the Champions League. If I get 50 million, that's different.
Yeah,
I never want to see
them
win the Champions League ever.
No,
I
don't want
it. PSG. They were never.
I don't want it.
PSG.
I don't want it. I don't want it either. But I just think for me,
as a league as a whole, I could also take my I hate Sol Campbell hat off and go, what a fantastic player he was. My dad detests football but loves Sol Campbell for some reason, and I'm like, what?
Corey, that was hook, line, and stinker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
the coefficient of the league, I would rather take an English club and doing a clean sweep. I really would.
I just think at the moment
our league's the best. No, I would like our league's the best. We've won everything in Europe. This country's won everything. This is where you want to play. Then it brings the influx of players to the league even more.
You would hold on a minute. Is this really happening? Are you just digging your heels in now because you've started something which you didn't?
I said this fight like 3 months ago at the Champions League final.
You would rather Arsenal win the league, the Champions League, just for our Premier League coefficient?
Yeah, the coefficient itself is mad.
You're going to get a 1 month Tottenham away YouTube ban. I swear down, you're going to get. I'm going to issue a ban. This cannot.
I mean, I don't really want to go into the whole Sol Campbell thing because the Sol Campbell thing, I've said my piece on it.
Mate, Arsenal, I couldn't give a shit if we had zero.
Yeah, I mean,
right, so anyone else but Arsenal win that? Man United, a Chelsea, a Liverpool. You're all right with another English team?
That's fine. I don't care.
That's fine.
All right, take away ex-Arsenal. If it's any other English club and they beat PSG,
maybe
puts the
Chelsea,
coefficient up.
Maybe Chelsea, but they've already won it, so it doesn't matter. Actually, yeah.
Mate,
Only Arsenal can't win it.
you
Only
know
Arsenal can't win it.
the rivalry between Palace and Brighton, right? I was
Yeah.
cheering on Palace to fucking win, and I live in Brighton. I played for the Brighton youth team, and I wanted Palace to fucking win. I should be shouting against them guys not winning more than Arsenal.
I was happy for Palace to win that trophy. That doesn't bother me one bit. I kind of liked it for Glasner, and that didn't bother me. Arsenal winning the Champions League, the whole country was united behind PSG that day. Every English fan but Arsenal were united behind PSG that day, Corey boy.
But you have to also.
I can't take clubs that are run by nations. I can't stomach it. I can't stomach Man City being run by a sheikh. I can't stand.
Again,
Newcastle being owned by the Saudis. I can't take PSG.
I hate this now. There's nothing to worry about now.
You can stomach Arsenal winning the Champions League.
Yeah. Let's not. We shouldn't be complaining about that anymore. We shouldn't be complaining about that anymore.
I'm not other YouTubers on this.
Yeah, we're not complaining about this anymore. We shouldn't be complaining about this anymore because
Corey.
Why are you putting that guy up? You know what I mean? He never turns up. My point is anyway, yeah.
Because he's FIFA referee.
Oh yeah, well, don't because he doesn't turn up. He doesn't turn up. He doesn't turn up. He doesn't turn up. You don't need to give him any.
Get rescinded.
You don't need to give him any airtime. You don't need to give that guy any airtime because he doesn't turn up.
Alex, why are you getting rattled by that, man?
Because he doesn't need any airtime. That guy. He doesn't need any airtime.
Leave Lubo alone. I love Lubo.
What just happened to my channel? You're getting rattled by cartoon images of Lubo. He's telling me he'd rather Arsenal win the Champions League for our coefficient. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm only saying you get rattled now. Hey, my point is anyway, yeah. All right, okay. Because when the conversation went a complete madness, yeah, one after the other. I was just saying when Corey said this about the oligarchs and all this about other Man City states supporting them, we cannot complain anymore. We cannot complain anymore because we are making money ourselves. Right.
Yeah, but I want clubs to be able to do it the right way, like that.
Yeah, but in life, there's not a lot of things that are the right way in life. Unfortunately, life is not fair. Life is not fair,
but there's a way to football with it being.
Well, there's a lot of things in life, but it should be done the right way.
Standards of the game and the. I'm trying to figure the better word to use here.
Do we live in Disneyland here?
No, I'm just putting it this way. I just want fairness done the right way in the league. We come from nothing really, didn't we? We've won stuff in the past. We knocked down our stadium, built our stadium, and made money.
Fairness in life is fairness. There's lots of things in life it's unfair though, Corey.
I know that.
So for me, I don't get this anymore. Sometimes you do what these teams do what they're gonna do. They do what they're gonna do. Like it's like what Tottenham have done, and now look at the benefits we're getting right now. You get what I'm saying? So for me, this whole thing about the Man City controlled by state, Chelsea got an owner, mate, it don't matter. Like it don't matter. We've got now the biggest advantage right now, right? And now people are complaining about us. You see Bonohol having a go at us, right? Because he's saying it's unfair.
Gabby.
But you can see his point though, because like Aston Villa over the last couple of years have been keeping their standard. Right, and they keep on because of the problems in terms of their finances and the European rules that they've got to follow. They've been really hamstrung, haven't they? So you can understand why they're a bit annoyed when Tottenham finished 17th twice in a row. But because of recently the way that we've been run,
right, I'm sorry.
Recently the way that we were run by the previous chairman, right, and the benefits of the stadium, the training ground, the events that we've had, we're benefiting massively from it. And now we're seeing the fruits of it. We're seeing the fruits of it now. So we cannot complain anymore. Right? So now you're seeing them doing the football side now. It's now for them to start showing what they can do now. Flexing their muscles like Man City were doing back in the day, and like Man United were doing back in the day as well, and Chelsea were doing back in the day. So, like, this complaint about Man City getting one up on us because of what they've done and the cheating and everything else, that's the past now. Yes, it's got to be sorted out by the courts and stuff like that. That's fine. But right now, Tottenham Hotspur need to think about themselves right now. That's why now I'm looking at De Zerbi right now, because we got the chance. So I don't want to hear any complaint about Man City anymore, because we can't worry about that anymore. We should be thinking about ourselves. I'm sorry. I'm going to pull up people that start talking about other teams now, saying, oh, they've been this and done that and cheated, all that. Let's think about now. We've got the biggest advantage right now. The biggest advantage right now. Come on. Come on now.
Why do you say we've got the biggest advantage right now?
Well, look what's happening right now. We've got the rules now with these squads. I can't what it's called now.
CSR, squad
PSR.
rotators.
Yeah.
PSR, CSR, and all
From
that.
what I'm hearing, we've got massive wiggle room. You know what I mean? And because of the investment from the owners as well, because we've been so prudent the last couple of years as well, we've got a lot of space to spend money and improve this squad.
I think we've been prudent over 26 years with these owners, my friend.
I know, but this is the point I'm saying. It's like we've got a lot of advantage on that. And when you see what Aston Villa are doing at the moment, because we're not in Europe as well, we don't have to worry about those rules so much.
It's a different rule set to the European, to Premier League. I think it's 75% for the Premier League teams, and then something like 80% for Europe. But there's also another rule that you can spend up to 115% of your revenue, but then it starts costing you 6 million per percentage that you're over. And then you can either be docked points and banned, blah, blah, blah. How the rules worked, I've looked into it. It's just stupid how it all goes about. But
the thing is, right, if you look at Spurs the last 6 years, we've spent something like £900 million. We haven't actually spent that much less than Arsenal. The problem we've had is we've spent it on 7 different managers, 7 different systems, 7 different squad types with different squad profiles, some of the poorest recruitment. For me, our issue is not really about spending money. It's how we spend it. It's how we spend money and the wage bill.
And what we're doing about now, like managers coming in, and you bring a manager in and sack him off after a few months, you're paying for his whole contract as well. So, like, if we sack De Zerbi, we've got to pay X amount of his contract if we sack him. So we have to really stick with this guy now for 5 years. But that has to be the situation.
The bigger problem is giving players to a manager that doesn't suit what he wants to do football-wise, right? The one thing you can say, ENIC this year, so far, this summer, only this summer, they are signing players that you'd like to look at and say, you know what? This fits the manager's system. This fits the manager's profile. And they've got Premier League proven history. The only concern I've got is up front, we're taking a lot of risk in terms of output. Like if we sign Savinho, I really like him.
Yeah.
But he's got to prove he can score goals. Like, isn't it better to sign a winger that guarantees you 10 goals rather than come and prove it? Same with Krupi, he's not a 9. So I think.
But when you're looking at Savinho, you had his breakout season at Girona, his first season at City, where he was second behind Doku in runs and second in progressive passing behind, was it Silva? He's not a bad player. He just hasn't had the chance to really play, because you think you've got God knows how, like, the abundance of riches in front of him, and you're wondering, for a 21-year-old, does he want to be stuck 3rd, 4th, 5th choice?
You can say the same about Grealish then.
All these
Jack Grealish.
Right? If Conte, Mourinho, Poch given this kind of backing, this kind of, support for players that suit their way, would be
especially under Jose. If he was back like this, fucking Jesus, the guy's a serial winner.
And Conte,
Conte's serial winner.
Yeah,
but they're Conte and Jose systems are so different from each other. I mean, I've always
look at the players we signed, man. Dan Juma, Doherty. Who's that donkey in goal? He lasted 1 season. Italian guy.
Galini, I think it was.
Galini,
Joe Rodon. I mean,
we still got Ben Davis from that lot.
That's why I'm looking at De Zerbi right now.
Joe Rodon, and we've given De Zerbi Senesi and Van Heck. Like, look at the level.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making. Still, that's the point I'm making. When you look at it from that point of view, you can't give De Zerbi any excuses that he can't get into at least the top 7.
Alex, I agree.
You can't, because Mourinho got to top 6 with. I know he had Harry Kane and Son, but he made Harry Kane and Son better with the way that he used them. So we can't do this. And also we got. I mean, I didn't like Ange Postecoglou, but he still got fifth with Richie up front. You get what I'm saying? And Brendan Johnson. So
in midfield.
Exactly. So we can't, like, this is why I'm saying that compared to some of the summer that we're getting right now to what they had, and even Poch, his first season, remember his first season, right? That was a very turbulent season, yeah? Right? Harry Kane wasn't even there yet. That was his first breakout season. And he only broken out because Savinho and Sardado and Adebayo were absolutely goddamn useless. That's the only reason. There was luck involved in that, and we got fifth. So there's no excuses.
No, listen, 100%. If this season we flop, there's not going to be any. We cannot blame Enoch. Cannot blame the board. It's all on the manager, right? This guy has been given £60 million to do a job. He's on 12 million. Just let that sink in, right? Think about going to work and what you get paid every month. And then just think what this guy's getting. He's being paid £1 million per month. Per month. He is accountable for what happens with this team because he's getting backed. So I'm Enoch out, Levy out. I've been doing it for years with you guys.
Yeah.
This season, if we flop, you ain't going to hear me blaming Enoch. You ain't going to hear me blaming Vinay. The finger's going to be firmly pointed at the manager. Whereas before, you could say bit of manager, bit of club, or just the club. I never blamed Conte. I never blamed Paul. I never blamed Mourinho. I blamed a bit of Ange. Frank, I thought, was a stupid appointment. But De Zerbi, being backed and being on the salary that he's on, there is no way the finger can be pointed at the owners this season.
It's like the third richest manager or whatever it is, like on contract.
Earn your money now. You're being backed. He can't turn around at the end of the year and say, "Hey, this is a club. I wasn't backed. I didn't want this player. I didn't want..." Mate, if you don't want any of these players, you say it now or walk. Otherwise, you're accepting these players. You're getting players that can actually play football. You need to bring it together. Okay, give them the first 3-4 months. They've got to gel a bit. But if the second half of the season, if we're not clicking and we're not playing good football and we're not winning games, I'm sorry, De Zerbi, he's not what I think he is. He's not what I think he is. Can
I just request something?
There's a harsh jobbing. This is over the top. No, mate. He's on £1 million a month.
100%, but still, there's someone in the chat called I think you know him, Phil Quiz. He says, "You've lost me." Phil, if you want to come on and say why I've lost you, because I like you, mate. I've got no. Well, you don't get used to I'm saying this because I think you're a good top guy. But if you want to come back on me, that's fine. Just come on the show and tell me why. Tell me why I've lost you, because I know that you would have been one of those ones that told me that I'm very, very negative. I'm actually being positive. I'm actually being optimistic right now, saying, you know what I mean? De Zerbi needs to get to a certain position because other managers have had less, much, much less, and they've still got fifth. And, you know, I think even Pochettino got fifth and he had Europe. He had Europe still. So I think he's still playing in Europe, wasn't he?
Michael Carrick got third, joining mid-season. Ange got fifth, and all these teams you could say were slightly weaker. What I will say is Carrick did have a good attack. Carrick did have a good front line. So you know that's why he got third, which is why I'm saying I expect 6, not third. If we sign 2 banging forwards, I'd say, do you know what? Top 4's on. There's a chance. But we're not going to get 2 top forwards. We're going to get one, this groupie guy who I think will be good. And then we're going to sign a left winger who probably doesn't score a lot of goals.
So that's the point. That's the point I'm making. It's like I'm not saying, I know it's very tough, but if you ask any rivals are looking at us and saying that we're doing fantastic business, solid business. They're saying. So if on the basis on that, we should expect a better position this season. You know what I mean? I know we were 17th, but we've gone out and actually addressed a lot of our problems. So we can't sit here and say he's getting what he wants, De Zerbi. He's getting what he wants.
17th because of Frank and Tudor, right? If you look at De Zerbi when he came in, the amount of games he had, and look at the amount of points he won. If you average that out over a season, we would have finished sixth. De Zerbi would have got sixth if he maintained that. Right?
So,
okay, if but maybe. But my point being, De Zerbi got something out of the team when the others couldn't.
Well, you know what he did? He dropped Gray and Bergvale for a start. So,
he dropped all the kids. He dropped all the kids. He's like, what are we doing? Dropped them all of them. Only kids he played. And that's because
he knows exactly what he knows exactly what he's about.
Mate. Yeah. No, you're right.
He knows exactly what he's doing. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying at the moment. That, and if you're gonna keep on, if fans like ours are gonna say, "Oh, he's our manager. He's my manager. Oh, he's a top manager. He's the best manager in the best coach in the Premier League." You know what I mean? Anyone would want him. Like, if you're gonna keep on saying that, if you're gonna say that, you've got to perform. You've got to show yourself. So I'm sorry, I just haven't got the time for the excuses on this one. You know what I mean? Because they've literally gone out and bought Tonali for him because he said, "I want Tonali." They got Tonali. You know what I mean? So, and Savinho looks like he's on his way as well. So, and he's selling the players as well. That's the key thing here is he's selling players. You know what I mean? It's not the ones that are popular with the fan base as well, like Bergvall. I wouldn't say Dragusin, but Vucevic is another one as well. But they're both wanted to leave.
That guy for what, 12 million, and him never play a Premier League minute for us. 49 million, fucking Jesus. Bonus, right? Bonus. If we can get 50 million for Bergvall that we paid something like 7 million for, hell yeah. Goodbye. See you later. Out the door. How much can we get for Gray?
It is what it is. Still, that's just my feelings, and I know I'm going to get a lot. Listen, I don't really care whether, because I've had a lot of trolls on my channel, which I welcome as far as I'm concerned.
There's no grief. Listen, this is something that has to change this season, right? In the Spurs YouTube world, podcast, life, whatever, it has to change. It cannot be. This is what we must all say. And if we don't say that, we can't be friends. We're not Tottenham. And anyone that thinks differently, you're Arsenal, you're toxic, blah, blah, blah. That has to stop. Just because De Zerbi's manager doesn't mean we cannot criticize, question, and say what's going on here. Just as much as we praise him for winning the games that he did. And, we just got to say it as it is. So if this season we flop, it's all on the manager, unless there's a major injury crisis. If this season we do well, praise the manager. But we've also got to say, do you know what? ENIC have stepped up their game. Can we do it again now? Can we keep doing it? I just don't want this world where, it all goes wrong. Oh, ENIC out again. And because I'm one of the biggest ENIC outers. I just think, man, this year, there's got to be a level of accountability. We've spent money. We've spent money on players the manager wants that suits the system. This is everything we've wanted. Every Spurs fan said we wanted all this. It looks, let's see how it goes for 3 years. It looks like it's happening. Now, this is on the managers. Now we've got to start, right, what is our manager doing? Because in the past, fans turned on managers for the wrong reasons because it wasn't the manager's fault. Now, I think it is going to be on the manager because they're being backed. It's just it's as simple as that.
Definitely.
Bad.
The forward line really is the point that needs to be done, right? Yeah. I have a theory on the goalkeeping situation. Kingsky's been given the nod, right? We've got Dubravka in probably just for a year, just as backup, right? after this season, Bart Verbruggen at Brighton will have 1 year remaining on his contract. And who did our manager get in when he first went to Brighton? Verbruggen and JP. I seriously have this feeling in my gut that Bart Verbruggen will end up at Tottenham next year. I seriously think it because he's one of his prodigal sons at Brighton, wasn't he?
How old is he now, Curry Boy?
24?
That's good age.
25? Something like that. Goalkeepers come into their own between 27 and 33. That's normally the age gap that they say. That's where they start picking up. But Verbruggen at the moment is easily top 3 goalkeepers in the Premier League. Easily.
Yeah, look, guys in the chat saying you can't blame De Zerbi if we struggle to score with the team. We all agree. Like, we've all said that. We need to sign goal scorers. But if we sign Krupi and we sign Savinho, then De Zerbi has accepted that. Right? De Zerbi has said, yeah, I'll deal with that. So it's down to him to get the goals out of them. So, you know,
and if he keeps Savinho, if he keeps Richie, right?
It's on him.
And Solanke, that's on him as well. Because you can see it. Like, I'm sorry, but like I said, this is where the excuses don't run for me. Is that he's got? They can see that they'll do anything for him. You can see it, right? So because they gone out and said he wants Tonali, they got Tonali for him. You know what I mean? I know the other players, you might have a question mark on them because we looked at them before he came in, but the Tonali one kind of sums it all up for me. You get what I'm saying? You know, if Spence leave, I think that's a De Zerbi decision. I think for me, I really do. So
it will be a De Zerbi decision.
And so for me, I do think we need to start looking at the manager here, because he's getting backed as much as he is. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, other teams are getting ripped apart because of the rules of the Premier League and in Europe that they've got to combine to at the moment. So for me, I just think there is a situation where we have to look at the manager right now, and 1 game a week as well. Still, I think I don't think we're going to get any better than what we're getting at the moment. Any summer than any other start of a season right now. The only thing you look at is the last 6 games, maybe the last 6 games of the season are very, very tricky, very tricky. Let's be honest here. But other than that, I'm looking at it and thinking, especially the teams that are coming up as well, in Hull, Ipswich, and Coventry. I'm not looking at them and saying, I'm worried. I'm not worried. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be worried. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm not looking at them thinking, yeah, I'm a bit worried about them, causing a bit of trouble. You know what I mean? So, Tottenham have to, they're going to have to step up this season. They really do. And prove us wrong, really. I have to be honest. Do you know what I mean? So, I think that's my feelings on this at the moment.
Listen, I'm going to wrap it up because I promised to redirect everyone to the 2 Marks show. Go check out Cookie and Sheriff. I might even jump on their show. I'm going to send you all over there. It's going to redirect. When you go there, just type in Stelios Raid or Tottenham Away Raid, whatever it is you want. But box office, you got any shows coming up soon? You got any spoiler alerts?
Videos are coming up soon, yeah. Best, worst, and bang average top 5. It will have a look out for them. And some diss tracks hopefully will come soon as well. Working on that, on people that pissed me off.
Diss tracks. Let it go, bro.
No.
You're gonna do your drill songs, are you? Like all the little yardies do. What do they call them now? Roadmen.
Still, I think sometimes people just need to understand there's certain things, certain ways that we do things, because we're brought up this way. You get what I'm saying? So there's certain ways that we express ourselves in different ways, and You know, some people like it, some people don't. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We don't follow the trend.
I'll let you do that. You do your thing. Check out Mr. Box Office, the Professor, on his YouTube channel. You know where he is. Corey Boy, I'm sure you're just going to bounce around. You'll be here, there, and everywhere as the weeks go on.
I'm doing Twitch every now and then for my football managing saves and stuff. So, yeah, I'm twitching again.
He's twitching, and he's twitching, and we're itching.
If you're itchy, mate, you better get down to the doctors.
You know, I've never been bitten by so many mosquitoes in my life. Every day here, I've got a new mosquito bite. Anyway, different conversation. Guys, thank you for watching the show. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Just to let you know, spoiler alert, as Alex would say, we're getting the band back together. So on this channel, every Monday, starting 2 weeks' time, myself, JP, Mari, Maz, Iggy, the boys are going to be back 8:30 p.m. every Monday. The Tottenham Away Boys, we're going to do a weekly show. So we're going to try and reboot our little old school OGs Tottenham Away Monday night show. So I'm sure you're going to like those, especially when the season starts. Check it out. Otherwise, I'll be back at some point during the week. Enjoy the World Cup final tonight. God knows who's going to win it. But like, subscribe, hit notification bell. Check out Corey Boy on Twitch. Check out Box Office on his channel. Go over to the 2 marks. It's going to automatically send you there. So just stay here. It will send you there. And put a little Stelios or Tottenham Away raid in their comments. Peace, love. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Enjoy the World Cup final. We're out of here.